Hey everyone, it's amandaandmonicarloomy and we are here today with this newest design called Adore. It is by our Instagram friend loomingcyrus. He asked us if we could do a tutorial for his new bracelet. Here is his Instagram, loomingcyrus. He loves Miley. And he has some really great pictures. Here's our Synergy bracelet that he has done. And here's the Ocean Waves bracelet by Soul's Provider that he did. And he actually extended it wider, which is totally awesome and cool. He just has some really great renditions. And he asked us if we could do the tutorial for the Adore bracelet. He also said that he thought this would be a great bracelet because he follows along with our story about Adam and our journey to Rainbowloom for a cause anywhere we can. And he said that this would be a pretty good bracelet to do as a autism awareness bracelet. As some of you know, Adam was diagnosed at birth with Down syndrome and later with autism. And we have our bracelet Miracle that is for Down syndrome, and we have our bracelet Spectrum for autism awareness. And this is another version that we have made from loomingcyrus's Adore bracelet for autism awareness, and it is in the autism awareness colors. We loved his idea. It has the dark blue, the turquoise, the red, and the yellow. And Adam will be getting this bracelet very soon. And Amanda and I are talking about doing another walk, and if we get to, that would be an awesome bracelet to make for the autism walk. Now here is another version that we did with our bling. We love our bling. So this is a super easy bracelet to add bling to in the middle. I've added all kinds of little crystal beads down the center, and I use the silk bands with this. I use the blue, yellow, green, and red silk bands. And I just think they set off those little crystal beads so nicely. Oops. And this is the one that we'll be doing today in the tutorial. It is using the 600 count packs from Rainbowloom.com from the Medieval collection. And we will be using the Medieval Jade, Medieval Red, Medieval Blue, and the Medieval Pink. These are all the 600 packs, not the 100% silicone 300 packs. So this is the one that we'll be using or doing in the tutorial today. I do want to mention, if you are going to be using the 100% silicone packs, this is the difference. I did the exact same length for both of these, and as you can see, this one shrunk up a lot more than the 100% silicone. So if you're doing the 100% silicone, I would cut it back a few pegs because they don't stretch back as much as the other ones, the 600 count packs. So do think about that when you are making the bracelet. This fits me just fine, so I get to keep it. Wahaha. But think about that when you are doing your bracelet if you have chosen to use the 100% silicone ones. Alright, so for this tutorial, you will be using a single loom in the staggered configuration. We're going to be using a 2 loom length setup. You will not need the entire second loom length. Now, I will say, if you have a small wrist, a very small wrist, there is a slight possibility you won't even need a second loom. But this is an awesome bracelet where if you just have one loom, you can make a very small extension on the back and it won't show that much. Like the bracelets that we've had before where they would have a big long extension. These, if you make it on one loom, it would just have a small extension. But today we're going to make it on one and about a third of the second loom. And I will show you how to do that. So it's in the stagger configuration. And you're going to need a hook and a C-clip And we're going to be using 4 different colors, and I just named those. So go get your stuff ready and come on back. Alrighty, so the first step we are going to be doing is we are going to be using the Jade Medieval, and we are going to be making a single border all the way around. Going to go on each side, and then you're going to go up the loom on each side. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We will be stopping right here, 18 pins down for an average length bracelet. If you are doing it for a wrist around my height or my length, you will need it to go around down to around here, so around 20 or possibly a little longer. But that just helps me know where I need to stop at the very end of the bracelet. So I'm just doing 2 single rows down each one of the looms. And I'm going to continue this off camera, and I will be right back and I will show you what to do at the very end. So I have come all the way down to where I have this free band that I placed down there at the very beginning to know where I needed to stop on the bracelet. So I'm just going to take that up right now, and I'm going to close off the end of the bracelet with 2 more bands. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the medieval pink and we are going to start making X's on the bracelet. So all you need to do is go from the middle pin, the second pin on the middle pin bar, to the first pin bar, first pin, and likewise to the third pin. And then you're going from the second pin to the second pin, and the second pin to the second pin. Now you're going to start your next X. And you're going to do this all the way down the loom. Now you could say this kind of looks like a diamond too, instead of just an X. I say it looks like an X only because of how it starts. It looks like an X because that's the way you start it with. And I'm pushing the bands down because in this bracelet you're going to need all of the room that you can get. So I'm going to go all the way down here to the end, and I will be right back. Alright, so I have gone all the way down to the end right here with the pink X's. Our next color that I will be using is the turquoise medieval. And you'll be using them similar to how you used the pinks, but you will not be making X's. You'll be starting at the second pin bar on the second pin, going from the second pin to the first pin bar, first pin. And you're making kind of upside down V's, and you're not making X's. So you're going to go from this pin up to this pin and do the same thing. And you're going to go all the way up to the end of the bracelet. I'm going to do this one more time. And you're just doing it just like this all the way up to the end of the bracelet. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I've gone all the way to right here with the last upside down V in the turquoise. I don't go on top of the medieval jade right here. This is the last point where I use the turquoise. The next one that we are using is the medieval red, and we are going to be doing a single chain up this middle row. And you're just going to start from the very beginning and just do a single chain. That's all you're doing. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I will be right back. Alright, so I have made the single chain from the very beginning all the way to the end, and I go right on top of the last, where the two jade bands come together. Now I'm going to take a single jade band and I'm going to triple cap it for our cap band here at the very end. So 1, 2, 3. And now we are ready to start looming, looping it all. So let me zoom in a little. All right, so for our first, we are just going to be going inside the cap band, and we are just going to be grabbing that red, and make sure I have it weird going on. All right, go and grab the red and pull it over and loom out that single chain all the way to the very end. So I'm going to finish that up and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have done the single chain all the way here to the very end. Our next step is we are going to go all the way back to the very beginning here. And we're going to go inside of this first hole that you have made for that single chain red. And you're going to grab the band on top, which should be the medieval turquoise. You're going to grab the first one on top. You're going to pull it back. And you're going to make the teardrop. You're going to grab the other one. You're going to make the teardrop. You're going to do this all the way down the loom. And you should be making teardrops. If you're not making teardrops, you need to put your band back where it was, because you're grabbing the one that's not on top. Alright, I'm going to continue doing this and I will be right back. Alright, so I have pulled all of the turquoise medieval bands and they have made little teardrops. I have also pushed them down so that there is room to do the next step. The next step is to go back inside those red holes where you have the single chain, and you're going to grab the pink medieval and you're going to loom those out and make teardrops. And you're going to go from the one on top to the one on bottom. So it should go whichever one you ended with to the one you started with. You should be having teardrops, and it should make this really big hole in the middle. So make sure you get inside of that red hole from the single chain and pull it back to where it makes a teardrop. And if you did the bands the exact same way each time, which is what you should be doing, then you should begin a pattern right now. Let's do one more. I'm just kind of moving the red chain so it makes a bigger hole so that it's easier for me to go and grab those pink medieval bands. Okay, one more. I'm just going to show you how to make that hole bigger. Alrighty. Finish it out and be right back. So I went all the way to the beginning by looming out the pink medieval bands. So now you should have these really big holes here in the middle. That's where I said that it would be a really easy bracelet to bling out with. Now this is the step which was created by our friend Looming Roach. And what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the loom sideways so you can see. And this type of step is what was created by Looming Roach. And what you're going to do is you're going to go for, with our color scheme, is you're going to skip this first one because there are no turquoises on this first one, okay? you're going to go to the second one and you're going to grab those two turquoise ones, two turquoise bands, which should be one band, but it's two of them together, and you're going to flip it over on top. Okay, so you're going to sideways grab those two turquoise. You can do them one at a time if you can't grab both of them, and flip it over. Make sure you're only flipping over the two turquoise bands. Flipping it over. Go in. The two turquoise are in between the two sets of two pinks. So I'll show you with just the one if you want to flip them over one at a time. So here's one turquoise, and then here's the second turquoise. One turquoise. And you got to be careful because sometimes you'll grab the pinks or whatever other color you have. So I'm going to continue doing this. You're going to do this on wherever you have the turquoise. Now I'm going to skip down all the way to here. This is at the very end of the bracelet, at the very start. The turquoise ones can be done out of order. All you're going to do on this first one is you're going to loom over one of the turquoise, and it needs to be the bottom one, okay? I just loop over that bottom one. All the rest you'll do two. But since this one only has one pink, you're going to only loom over one blue. Alright, so continue doing that, and I will finish this up and off camera, and I'll be right back. So as you can see, I have made all of them go over. All of the turquoise are over now on both sides. Two on all of them except for these first two. They just have one. Now our next step is the step in the bracelet that I really like in bracelets like this. Instead of just having single chains, I mean this is the back of the bracelet, so that's why I can show you. Instead of having single chains go up on the back of the bracelet, now this is still really pretty, not saying it's not pretty, and you can totally wear your bracelet like this, but I like how on the way that we're getting ready to loom, how on the sides, you can see the profile on the sides, and how it doesn't show the chain, the double chain on the top. I really like bracelets that have that feature on the side. Our Synergy bracelet does this. Some of our favorite loomers have bracelets that do this also. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, we're going to go inside the cat band, and we are going to grab the green and pull it over. Whichever green you have that's on top, you're going to pull it back to make a teardrop. And then, before you go and do your next green, what you're going to do is you're going to do the looming roach technique. Now, on this first one, there is only two bands, okay? Which is actually one band. But there's only two ends of this one band on here. So you're just going to be grabbing one on this first one. Why does this have to be so difficult sometimes? And you're going to pull it over. I'm going to do it on the other side. Now you're going to be going outside. You're not going to be going inside of the green. You're going to be going outside and pull it over. And then, after you've pulled those over, just those two on each side, then you can go in, pull back those greens that you just made your teardrops, and go up one. Alright. You're going to stop, turn your loom sideways, and this is the first one that's going to have two, and you're going to get the bottom two. Make sure you get the bottom two and not the top two. Get the bottom two pink on the outside of the green. and pull them over. And be careful, because sometimes that green can pop off. And if it does, you just loop those pink ones back over and pull the green back over. I'm gonna go on this side, go outside of the green, grab the 2 pinks and pull them over. Now we're gonna go inside of all of those bands, pull them back, and grab that band, that green band, going up. Pulling all of those bands back, grabbing that green band, going up. All right. Put your loom to the side, grab those bottom 2 pink ones, pull them over, bottom 2 pink ones. You can do them one at a time. Here's 1, and then here's 2. Some people aren't as comfortable doing 2 bands on their hook at once. And then you go in behind all of those bands, using the back of your hooks the best. Go behind all of those bands, grab that green band and pull it up. Go behind all of those all those bands, grab the green band and pull it up. I'm going to continue doing this throughout the end to the end of the loom, and I will show you how to close it up and how to do these last 2. All right. Here I have loomed out all of it to right here, so yours should look like this. All right, so down here on these last 2, that's why I said I was going to hold off and show you how to loom these last 2. This is where on the first one, on the blue, we just did 1. So on this one, we are just going to pull over, instead of pulling over 2 pinks, we're just pulling over 1 pink. And then this one, we're pulling the band, pull the bands back and pull this green band over to the middle pin. Turn it over to this side. Get that 1 pink, pull it over, and grab that green, going behind all those bands, grab that green, pull it to the middle. Okay, so now we are going to use a single band, but what we're going to do is we are going to stretch it out a little, and then we're going to double it, so it's more of a secure fit. We always like using more of a secure hold with our bands at the end, because we don't want to make a bracelet and it just totally fall apart because the C-clip came apart on one end. So I just pulled this band through all of those bands on the very last pin, and I've secured both ends of it on my hook. I have my C-clip. I'm just going to pull the band really tight because it makes it so that the band's ends are thinner and it's easier for the C-clip to get through. And this bracelet is really easy to pull off of the loom, but you still need to be careful. So what I'm going to do is, let's zoom out. I'm going to kind of pull up, and it just kind of pulls off. All right, and then I stretch it. You'll always need, in probably every bracelet, to fix some of the bands that are a little wonky, a little out of place. But we love this bracelet, and we love how it looks. Here it is. Here's the version that we just did. Let's move this. And this will fit an average size wrist. Here it is after we've done a lot of the stretching and finagling and stuff. And then this one I made a little bit longer because this was one of the first one. I think this one was 20 pins and these are 18. This one wasn't 18, but like I said, it's the 100% silicone, so you need to make it a little bit shorter with those. And these are just the regular bands. So this is our tutorial for our friend Looming Cyrus's Adore bracelet. This, I would say this is a intermediate level bracelet. If it didn't have Looming Roach's let's see, band flipping technique, it would be almost an easy bracelet to do. But this is one of the, I would say after maybe like the Starburst and stuff, was something that a child could do. And of course, all of our adult looming friends could do. And since Looming Cyrus did it on one loom, anyone could do it. So, this is Looming Cyrus's Adore bracelet. And if you choose to make his design, if you could tag him on Instagram, we will link it down, his Instagram down below. If you will tag him and hashtag Looming Cyrus. Also, please tag us. You know we always love seeing your renditions. If you liked this video, would you please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can know when we have more videos coming out. The bracelets that we are wearing, I have a dual personality, you know. The bracelets that I'm wearing today is the Ocean Waves bracelet that my BFF Amanda made me, and I'm so obsessed with the colors that she picked out. But it's Ocean Waves by Souls Provider that we have the tutorial on our channel. And this is the giant one that Amanda had on her tutorial for the NYD bracelet by Rebecca's Looming Frenzy. But I still had, even though it was huge, I had to cut off like that much and like redo it at the end. So it was still too big for me, even though I require a bigger bracelet. So there's the bracelets that I am sporting during this tutorial. And look for me to be sporting probably this one in a future tutorial. So we look forward to seeing all of your renditions of the Adore bracelet. Go check out Looming Cyrus's Instagram and we will see you later. Bye! Love you guys!